any restoration, you got to think about one thing. What are your resources? What's up, guys? I got another question here for today's drive. He writes, hey, my name is Frank Hulse, and I'm 19 years old from Ocean County, New Jersey. I previously drove a 2003 Silverado truck, but I was basically out tinkering with every day. I had done a lift, wheels, tires, lights, and all the basic truck stuff that a 19-year-old would do in his driveway. I go to school about an hour away from house and blew a head gasket right before Thanksgiving. Being a college student, I had barely enough money to afford a new gasket, let alone having a shop to fix it for me. I've been there, man. Hey, I think I still am there. Knowing this, I pulled the heads to my engine in the parking garage of my college. This was quite an annoying job to do between studying and going to class. I got the job done in small increments over the course of 3 days, but came very close to missing Thanksgiving with my family. After all this, I decided I wanted the truck gone and planned on leasing something new. Now I am driving a 2018 Mazda 6. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing like driving a brand new car, but I miss going out in my driveway and tinkering with my truck. Also, I would love to spend some more time with my dad this summer and restore something old with him. My family isn't in the right place right now financially to drop a bunch of money on me restoring a car, but I'm trying to convince them that it is a good idea and does not need to be super expensive. When researching cheap cars to restore, the only things that seem to come up are Fox body Mustangs and C4 Corvettes, typical 80s and early 90s. I'm sure you have been to a drag strip before. Yes, I have. But everyone and their brother has a Fox body. And the C4 is way too generic and has other problems of its own. Come on. My dad had the idea to build a first-gen Camaro or Mustang, but that was dropped when we realized how much a decent body costs, let alone a motor, interior, etc. I am really looking for a restoration project that is unique, yet able to stay on a tight budget. I was thinking maybe a later second-gen Camaro with a rebuilt junkyard truck motor. After watching VinWiki episodes, I saw that you built a Can-Am car in a small garage and a Batmobile in another video. I feel like you would be a great person to talk to about building something with my dad. I really love what you are doing with Genius Garage and would love to build a car just like you guys do. I would love to apply, but really can't afford to come out to Ohio even if I was lucky enough to get in. Let me know if you have any ideas of a build that could work for me. I can't thank you enough for your help. Frank Hulse. All right, man, let's go for a drive and talk about this. Good questions. So, first of all, dude, you replaced the head gasket in your truck in 3 days in a parking garage? Well done. That's not easy. I know what that's like. I've done that myself. In fact, I replaced the head gaskets in this Viper when I got it back after somebody pulled out in front of me and it got wrecked. Not my fault. Anyway, it had a valve tick. I don't know what the guy that had it between the 2 times I owned it, but had to change their head gaskets, did it in my little garage, and certainly done a lot. So really good work there, especially probably working with limited tools and maybe not the best environment. So I can totally understand how you got frustrated there and you wanted to lease a car. Anyway, okay, so your dad and restoration projects. So Fox body Mustang, cool. C4 Corvettes, also cool. These are great choices. These are good performance cars that are cool. They're rear-wheel drive, they got a V8, and they're inexpensive, generally speaking, okay? So great choices. Don't worry about, at this stage in the game with you guys, you know, hey, ooh, I really want that super cool vintage car. Oh man, I wish we had that. You know, enjoy the car for what it is, all right? So, you know, even though it's 80s Mustang or Corvette may not be as glamorous, you know, maybe not be as cool and sought after, who cares? It's a cool car, okay? Truth of the matter being, an 80s C4 is a more developed and engineered car than a car from the 70s or 60s. It just is, okay? You know, so let's talk about those two cars for a minute. So first thing I'm gonna do is with any restoration project, if you don't wanna lose money, you gotta get something with really good bones and know that the money you put in isn't real high. You know what I'm saying? Like the motor's pretty good, the drivetrain's pretty good, brakes are decent, you know what I mean? Hopefully the paint and body's pretty good, you know what I mean? You're just kind of like zhuzhing it up and doing things that, one, you don't have to hire a professional to do it. If you gotta hire an upholsterer, an engine builder, a mechanic with a lift to get the tranny out, you need a welder to weld the body and stuff, you're gonna end up upside down that car in no time. You're gonna have to rely on somebody else's time schedule. It's not gonna be any fun. You're not gonna be able to do it with your dad. So with any restoration, you gotta think about one thing. What are your resources, okay? How much money are you willing to put into something? And What tools do you have? What facility do you have? What are your talent levels, okay? Because I'm a big fan of leaving it up to you, because nobody out there is gonna wanna restore your car as nice or as fast or with as much attention to detail as you are, okay? And if you do it, you don't have to pay somebody to do it. So not only are you learning, but your time is going into the asset value of your car, okay? So those are the things you gotta realize there. Now, let's talk about the Mustang and the Corvette. If you were to get a Fox Buddy Mustang, first and foremost, do not buy a car with rust, okay? Because I kind of doubt you're a painter. You probably would have said that already. Bodywork sucks. It's expensive. It takes forever. It's hard to find a guy to do it. Nobody wants to do it cheap. It's just a bad idea. So if you get a steel-bodied car, no rust, got me? Or anything little that you can deal with in your own garage, you and your dad with your own skill level. Otherwise, forget it. You'll end up upside down and hating it, okay? That's out. That reason alone is precisely why I love Corvettes and I love this Viper, okay? I love the Viper because I can park in a parking lot and I'm not gonna get car door dings. The body's not gonna rust. So as long as the steel tubular frame doesn't rust, I'm good. I don't have anything to worry about. Corvette's the same way. It's got, you know, fiberglass body. You're not gonna get car door dings. That's not gonna rust. Now, you know, truthfully, the C4 Corvette's got a lot of steel in its chassis, so that could rust, but generally they don't. Generally, people take pretty good care of Corvettes, even if they don't drive them. They get garaged a lot. So just, you know, look at the suspension and look at your frame and make an educated guess, but no rust. Stay away from the cancer of cars. That's pretty good. Now, C4 Corvette, why do I like them? There's enough of them out there. There's really good used parts available for them. There's a lot of people that know how to work on them. Small block Chevys, you can go right down to your local auto parts store and whatnot, and you can get parts. You know, whether it's a water, you know, a thermostat gasket, or maybe a water pump or spark plugs, whatever, you can get it locally, and it's generally pretty inexpensive. So I don't know if you like stick or automatic more. I like to drive manual transmissions. That's my thing. And C4 Corvettes, it's harder to find them in manual. They got that kind of weird 4-speed transmission with the overdrive, so they call it the 4+3 in the early ones. And then later they got the 6-speed, when I think they had like LT1s in them. I actually used to have one of those cars. It was pretty nice. So, you know, give consideration to those. Now, coming into kind of like the last piece of advice with regard to restoring a car with your dad, like, you've got to know your resources. How much money do you have to put in it? And I don't mean just buy it, but you got to pay taxes, you got to pay insurance, you got to have money for parts and stuff. And if you don't have money for all those things, then you need to chill out and just wait until you're ready. Otherwise, you know, if you can't afford to work on your car, that stinks. That's no fun. So when you go out to buy a car, don't get too crazy too fast. Don't get too big of a project, okay? Start reasonable. Start with a car that, first of all, you want it to be able to drive around the block. Otherwise, it's a big project, okay? It stops, it drives, it generally idles pretty good, okay? It's not bad. Maybe it just needs a little polishing up. The engine compartment looks crappy. Maybe the exhaust, you want to do some light modifications, light restoration project. Start there. Because first of all, it's still going to take you guys a long time, okay? And you're going to get to enjoy it together more because you're going to get to go driving. You're going to get to go places. It's going to mean stuff to you. You're going to get to tune it, okay? So when you're starting out, if you find a car like that that runs, you can probably buy it real cheap. You know what I'm saying? And as long as it has good bones, and if you don't know how to do that, have somebody that's smart check it out for you. You know what I mean? But then you're just putting in elbow grease, mostly, right? You're not spending tons of money on it if it's got good bones. So you're going to fix it up. You might be able to make a few bucks. But don't do some crazy massive restoration project just because you want to be a masochistic loony and you think that's the only way that you can be a real car guy. No. Take it easy. Start with a light restoration project. Buy the car well, where you guys can put elbow grease in and lesser expensive parts and go from there. And that's gonna be your best bet. Because here's the thing, man. You're gonna have more than one car the rest of your life. Have fun with this one. Do it with your dad. You know, enjoy it for a year, 2 years, something like that. Then sell it. Hopefully you were smart when you bought it with the money you put in. Hope you break even, make a little money maybe, and then take that and put it in your next project. Use the same logic. Always think about, you know, how much you're going to put into it and what's going to be your return, okay? Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with trying to get ahead, and that's a good thing to do. So have fun with your dad, man. I think that is great. But you know, don't let it bother you, because you guys are going to end up, don't let it bother you if other people have the same car, okay? They're not you. They're not you and your dad. You guys are you. Enjoy it because it's a cool rear-wheel drive American car that you can go autocross, you can go to the drag strip, you can take out your honey to the ice cream, you know what I mean? Get some ice cream or a root beer stand on a pretty summer evening. And you know what? You're going to end up loving that car and learn about its history too. So that's what I got. But don't bite off more than you can chew, and use good judgment with your resources and thinking of what your product's gonna be in the end. And you're gonna be all right. Have a lot of fun with your dad. So I hope this helped out. Write questions anytime. Also, for all you out there, if you got some questions, hit me up. I love going for a drive. And I hope you guys subscribe. See you next time.